Overthrowing the Constitution, by Walker von Krieg, a John School Ministries editorial. Abraham Lincoln said, "We the people are the rightful masters of both Congress and the courts, not to overthrow the Constitution, but to overthrow the men who pervert the Constitution." There is no doubt that the American Constitution has been under attack in recent years, both by anarchists and so-called progressives, who make up the leftist socialist establishment. The damage done to the U.S. Constitution is reversible only if the inroads made into it are not only stopped but turned back. In all of human history, the downfall of a republic has never been stopped, and seldom delayed, once it began. If this should occur, then it would have to be acknowledged as only possible through an act of the divine, the God of Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, and those who are the true followers of the Lord Jesus Christ. The knowledge of history and the sensitivities of our viewers has made me careful in how I approach making comment on the classified documents cases against former President Trump. This is not because of fear of contrary opinion. We regard most of our subscribers as too mature to not be able to consider what is said by logical thinkers, even should they hold contrary views. The reticence stems from the knowledge most people are not deeply acquainted with either history or constitutional law. Therefore, when I speak it must be with care to not make any error of fact in either area. Since United States District Court Judge Eileen Cannon dismissed the classified documents case against Donald Trump, she has been attacked personally with claims of bias, having been appointed to her present position by the former president. The well-reasoned 93-page ruling has been virtually ignored by the fault-finders who support the usurpation of constitutional requirements. You see, Attorney General Merrick Garland exceeded his authority when he appointed Jack Smith special counsel without submission to Congress for approval. This act was the first of two areas in which authority was exceeded in the matter. You may remember Mr. Garland had been nominated for a seat on the Supreme Court. If he is ignorant of constitutional law, then the decision to reject him was correct. If he is defiant of constitutional law, unwilling to subvert it, then the rejection of the man was also justified. In either case, he is also unqualified for his current position as Attorney General of the United States, and his appointment and continuance in that post reflects badly upon the person who appointed him. This is just logical reasoning. Classified documents have been held by presidents leaving office for a very long time. The practice is established by legal precedent. Presidents of the United States have the power to classify and declassify federal documents. Those documents a president chooses to carry with him when leaving office are effectively declassified for past presidential use. From this reservoir, it is expected he will write his memoirs, which have the historical value of expressing for posterity the viewpoint of the head of state regarding the events of history during his administration. Once he is finished with them, they are turned over to the National Archives. People below the level of the president do not have such a privilege. Even the vice president or a senator cannot take documents for their own use. It is a crime punishable under the law, no matter what office they may hold after the deed. It is a unique privilege afforded only to the president. Therefore, charges against former President Trump were unlawful charges to begin with and likely inspired by two important facts. One was that President Biden had violated the law when, as a senator and again as vice president, he had unlawfully taken classified documents. The second was the waging of what has come to be known as lawfare in an attempt to keep the former president from being returned to office by the majority will of the people. The third accusation, that Donald Trump had improperly stored classified documents, was a red herring argument intended to misdirect public attention from how Mr. Biden had stored classified documents he had improperly taken. This was abetted by the cooperation of American media, whose minions have been indoctrinated to corrupt thinking by journalism schools for about a century. To cover the details of those activities would take a separate, long editorial to just describe. Explanation of why such negligence occurred would be impossible. My opinion is there are evil spiritual forces at work. One of the issues that was not addressed was the violation of the Appropriations Clause. While Judge Cannon did recognize the violation of this clause had occurred, it went unaddressed because she had already found the appointment of Jack Smith was unconstitutional. This is unfortunate because he had use of a permanent indefinite appropriation. It does need to be investigated and audited to determine if the national pocket had been picked. If so, the perpetrator needs to do some serious prison time. It seems likely the fallout from the judge's ruling could be more widespread than currently realized. Justice Clarence Thomas, who has a long history of being attacked by the enemies of the Constitution, has already expressed himself in such a way that he and Judge Cannon are in agreement. If the Attorney General and his henchmen try to fight the judge's ruling at the Supreme Court, I believe it likely they will have only further wasted taxpayer money. Anyone who has ever read any of Justice Thomas' concurring or dissenting opinions know he is one of the finest legal minds in American history. Even when he raises a question, it comes from a well-reasoned awareness of both law and reality. This has been a John Squall Ministries editorial. Please share it to educate people of thought. We appreciate your feedback, so leave a comment and give us a thumbs up. We encourage you to subscribe and click the notifications bell so you may know when we post new content. To learn more about us, visit our website at johnsquillministries.com.